Once upon a time, in the warm, sun-kissed city of Brisbane, Australia, a boy named Jacob Nathaniel Elordi was born. The date was June 26, 1997. Growing up in a modest, hardworking family, Jacob wasn't your typical Hollywood hopeful. His father, John Elordi, a house painter who immigrated from Basque Country in Spain, was the definition of hard work. His mother, Melissa, a stay-at-home mom who also worked as a cafeteria employee at his school, ensured that Jacob and his 3 older sisters understood the importance of family and perseverance. Jacob, however, had a different calling, one that would take him far from his hometown and transform his life in ways he couldn't yet imagine. This video is sponsored by True Affairs. Visit our website now and shop the latest deals. Don't miss out. Check it out today. Jacob was the youngest in a family of girls, which meant he often grew up in their shadow. However, it was clear from an early age that Jacob was destined for something more, the stage. But his journey was anything but straightforward. While his peers found their identities in the rugby fields, Jacob found his in theater. At just 12 years old, Jacob had his first taste of the spotlight when he was cast as the Cat in the Hat in his school's production of Seussical. That moment ignited something inside him, a spark, a realization that acting was his true calling. From there, he began pursuing roles in his school's musicals and drama productions, including his portrayal of Oberon in A Midsummer Night's Dream. But the road to stardom wouldn't be a simple one, and Jacob had much more to overcome before becoming the face of Hollywood. Jacob, like many aspiring actors, faced obstacles and setbacks along the way. His early years were filled with uncertainty and struggle, especially when it came to his education. Attending a series of Catholic high schools, Jacob often felt out of place. The rigid, traditional environment of these schools clashed with his growing love for acting, and he soon realized that the structured life he was expected to lead wasn't meant for him. While his friends were excelling in sports, Jacob was coming to terms with his own identity. A rugby injury in his late teens would be the catalyst that shifted his focus entirely from sports to acting. But it wasn't an easy transition. Despite his passion, Jacob faced rejection after rejection in his attempts to break into the modeling world. At 15, he tried modeling, but he was told he was too tall to fit the sample clothes. It was a setback that might have deterred many, but not Jacob. He decided to focus entirely on acting. By the time he turned 19, Jacob made a decision that would change everything. He was moving to Los Angeles, the city of dreams. Armed with nothing but his ambition and a tiny savings in his pocket, he boarded a plane with the hope that Hollywood would be as kind as his dreams had promised. Los Angeles wasn't kind at first. In fact, it was harsh. Jacob's savings quickly dwindled, and the reality of the Hollywood grind hit hard. Without a steady income, he found himself living in his 2004 Mitsubishi, a far cry from the Hollywood Hills mansions he had once imagined. Night after night, Jacob parked on Mulholland Drive, looking out at the glimmering city lights while wondering if his dreams were ever going to come true. With only $400 to $800 in his bank account and no clear way forward, Jacob began to question whether he had made a mistake. But fate had one last twist for him. Jacob landed a critical audition for a television series that would define his career, Euphoria. This was his last chance to prove himself in Hollywood. And it was this role, playing the deeply troubled Nate Jacobs on HBO's Euphoria, that would change his life forever. In 2018, Jacob's big break came with Netflix's The Kissing Booth trilogy, where he was cast as Noah Flynn, the rebellious, charming older brother. The film's massive success catapulted Jacob into the spotlight, and soon, he was one of Hollywood's most sought-after young stars. However, despite the fame and adoration from fans, Jacob was frustrated. He knew he wasn't just another pretty face, he had depth, and he longed to show it. This desire for more serious roles led him to Euphoria, the dark, gripping series that would change everything. Jacob's portrayal of Nate Jacobs, a deeply complex, troubled teen dealing with toxic masculinity, abuse, and psychological trauma, marked a dramatic departure from the romantic comedy roles he was known for. His performance was haunting, and critics quickly began to recognize his ability to tackle complex characters with nuance and vulnerability. As Nate Jacobs, Jacob didn't just play a villain, he played a tragic figure trapped by his circumstances, his fears, and his upbringing. The role won him both critical acclaim and a massive fan following, with fans praising his ability to portray someone so multidimensional and disturbing. By 2025, Jacob Elordi was no longer a newcomer struggling to make ends meet. He had evolved into a leading man capable of carrying major films. He starred in Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, 2025, a role that demanded a grueling 10-hour makeup process each day. Elordi's transformative performance as the creature was a triumph, earning him accolades from critics around the world. At the Venice Film Festival, where Frankenstein premiered, the audience gave Jacob a 13-minute standing ovation, acknowledging the depth and emotional range he brought to the role. In interviews, Jacob described the experience as the most powerful film he had ever worked on. For the first time, he was able to see acting as an art form that transcended traditional Hollywood roles. Frankenstein wasn't just a movie for Jacob, it was a way of rediscovering his love for the craft. Alongside his evolving film career, Jacob's fashion status soared. With his imposing height of 6 feet 5 inches, Jacob quickly became a fashion icon, appearing in campaigns for major brands like Calvin Klein, Hugo Boss, and Bottega Veneta. His distinctive look and effortless style made him a fixture on red carpets, further solidifying his place in the entertainment industry. Jacob's financial trajectory has been just as dramatic as his career. When he first arrived in Los Angeles, he had barely enough money to cover his headshots. By 2025, his net worth had soared to an impressive $4 to $5 million. His salary for Euphoria grew steadily, from around $50,000 per episode in Season 1 to $70,000 plus per episode by Season 3. But it wasn't just his television work that fueled his earnings. His roles in films like Priscilla, 2023, and Saltburn, 2023, earned him paydays between $300,000 to $750,000, and for his role in Frankenstein, he earned $1 to $2 million. But what truly set Jacob apart was his smart financial decisions, including his real estate investments in both Los Angeles and his native Australia, where he owns a $2 million estate in Gunnerngary. Jacob's journey isn't just about the success he's found. It's about the choices he made along the way. Unlike many stars who follow the traditional path to fame, Jacob has consistently steered his career toward roles that challenge him. After his success with The Kissing Booth, he rejected typecasting and deliberately sought out darker, more complex characters. He was no longer just the heartthrob, he was an actor, a storyteller, a creator. And as he continues to grow as an actor, Jacob's story is becoming one of inspiration for the next generation. His rise from sleeping in his car with barely $400 to leading major Hollywood productions proves that hard work, dedication, and passion can take you to places you've only dreamed of. But it's not just about his success in Hollywood. Jacob remains connected to his roots and continues to share his journey of humility and authenticity with his fans. In 2026, Jacob will take on the role of Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights, and as his career continues to rise, we can only imagine where this incredible journey will take him next. Jacob Elordi's story is one of resilience, growth, and transformation. From the boy who once slept in a car to the Hollywood A-lister who's become a symbol of modern stardom, Jacob's rise proves that with the right mix of talent, grit, and heart, anything is possible. And as his journey continues, one thing is certain: Jacob Elordi's legacy is just beginning.